Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining me today. The FBI is putting out warnings about buying and selling coins, and I'll tell you all about that in a second. First, I just want to say, hey, if you haven't known already, now you know. Go to the Tucson Coin Show in January. Come and see us and everybody else that's down there. Get out of the Midwest. Come on down to where it's going to be nice out and enjoy the weather. If you haven't been in Tucson, January is a great time to come down and see us, so TucsonCoinShow.com. And remember, not only am I the founder of the Tucson Coin Show, I'm also a member. All right, so now on to the FBI, shall we? I've been waiting to say those words, so this is a public service announcement. Alert number IO62524 PSA, dated June 25th, 2024. Scammers falsely promise significant profit to victims in collectible coins scams. So the FBI is warning the public about scammers falsely promising victims, many of whom are older Americans, a significant profit on purchase or sales of collectible coins. These scams have impacted more than 100 victims across at least 30 states, causing over $9 million in claimed losses. Scammers cold call victims to market their alleged collectible coin business. If victims already have collectible coins, scammers promise them a high rate of return for selling the coins. In some instances, scammers travel to victims' homes and offer to take victims' coin collections to have them appraised or to sell them. If scammers obtain collectible coins for victims as a part of a proposed appraisal or sale, they later provide a small amount of money or coins or significantly less value to the victims and keep the victims' coins. Scammers may also offer to sell collectible coins of allegedly significant value to victims. Scammers use high-pressure tactics to force a sale, such as a fake imminent auction or distress sale, to coerce victims into promptly purchasing collectible coins, and ultimately victims never receive the coins for which they have paid in advance. Okay, so this is something that we've talked about here before, and I'm glad to see that this has been out here in the public notice if anyone's looking at the FBI website. And it's fascinating to me because they're talking about hundreds, more than 100 victims in at least 30 states at a loss of $9 million. Well, I would say that I've met more than 100 victims myself in this store when I talk to people who have bought stuff from online vendors that are just ripping off the elderly. Of course, I've been doing it 25 years, so I've seen a lot of this. And the thing that intrigued me about this was that the other side of the coin was that they were going ahead and reaching out to people, cold calling people, and trying to find out if they had a coin collection, going in to buy the coins, or just give them nothing for them. But that happens lots of times if you deal with someone who's already nefarious, who's in your own neighborhood, right? So there are always going to be places in town where you can get ripped off. And it was weird to me to read that part because I was just thinking, I'm so familiar with guys who cold call, high pressure sale, and go ahead and tell people whatever they want to hear to make them, send money to the scammer. And then the scammer sends coins that are worth a tenth or a half. By the way, some of these people, aren't technically scammers, but there's people on YouTube that a lot of people who are stackers watch and listen to. And I'm not talking about the people who, generally speaking, are selling like through one of the main bullion dealers. I'm talking about people that are doomsdayers, and they then turn around and sell gold coins at 2 to 3 times what the market is. And for shame, for shame, for shame. So there's different levels of this scam. There's people that are legitimate that are scammers, right? Because this woman who's on YouTube who goes out and just preaches all this gloom and doom and then says buy slabbed gold coins. It's just nonsense what she does to people. It's unethical. But they're talking about promises made that aren't really kept. And they're talking about having someone come to your house who just cold called you. And this seemed odd to me, but I'm thinking more about our do-it-yourself culture where you watch videos and how to take care of stuff and you don't go to an expert. And instead you're just like, no, I can handle this. And as I've gotten older and had more experience in life, I'm a lot more likely to actually go to an expert on something and not do it yourself. And that has to do with in the coin market, obviously, I tell people all the time, go to an expert and get opinions, right? You don't have to do business. You can just get opinions first, right? But get some information from an expert. Always go that route first. But in other collectible markets that I'm not familiar with, I go to someone who's an expert. I'm not going to just try to DIY every last collectible I see, because it's difficult to do that. But nowadays, with OfferUp and Facebook, Marketplace and Craigslist, there's a lot of people out there that are simply going out like, oh, I'm not going to take it somewhere, I'm just going to get ripped off. So instead, they go ahead and go someplace and get ripped off, right? Because they thought that if they went someplace that wasn't a business, that somehow it would turn out better for them. So here is what they say, the FBI says. Be cautious when receiving any unsolicited calls about purchasing or selling collectible coins. Amen, right? No one should be calling you out of the blue like, hey, do you got coins for sale? I'm in. Do not pay in advance for collectible coins. This one's fascinating because oftentimes when you deal with one of these companies that's just kind of cold calling, they will, this is fascinating. There's no way that you cannot pay in advance for collectible coins. Like, no one's going to send you a $10,000 coin and not have payment already. Like, this one is just so funny because it's just not realistic. But I think the point about it that's correct is make sure that you've actually seen the coin, held the coin, and it's different. Like, I had someone recently write to me about a coin that was many, many states away, and I looked at it and I said, well, don't mess with this coin because you can buy that coin somewhere else, right? But the problem here is the fact that these guys, they're high pressure and they're dealing with elderly people, right? They already know who the pushover is and they push them over, right? I mean, just like sucker written right on the face, and they know how to take advantage of people. They also say, do not give your coins to someone who wants to take them for appraisal. Yeah, well, this goes with just dealing with people that you know and trust and know that you can trust versus dealing with people that are just kind of random in your life. But I see this a lot, and actually I'm amazed at how many people I know who come into the coin shop and they go to yard sales and stuff, and I'm amazed at how often someone will just let anybody into their house to look at coins and jewelry off the street and aren't willing to go to a local establishment that has to stay in business by treating people well. And that this has always just kind of blown my mind. Anyway, this is a really important PSA. So y'all have probably had experience with this. Please check if you have a grandma, grandpa, father, mom, dad, aunt, uncle who you have noticed all of a sudden has collectibles showing up at their home. This is the type of thing that I see more often than someone coming to just steal their coins by making a false offer. That I don't see as much, but clearly it's happened because this is in the FBI warning. But if you see a family member that has collectibles showing up, find out what's happening. Take those collectibles to a local reputable shop and find out if they're paying a fair price for things or not. Because chances are, if they're dealing with one of these companies that is high pressure sales, they're getting hosed. Like I see collectibles that are from high pressure sales companies that are 20 and 30 years old, and they're still underwater by like 50% or 25%, like huge amounts. And so they will absolutely make up a sales price based on what they think they can get out of the individual. So caveat emptor, buyer beware. Y'all be well, buyer beware. Yeah. All right, guys. Let them rip in the comments section. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.